পৃষ্ঠা ১২৯ continued. Relationship between statements type. Tips and tricks. 1. Check for contradictions. বিরোধিতা আছে কিনা দেখে নাও. If the two statements present opposing or conflicting ideas, then they contradict each other. যদি দুটি বক্তব্য একে অপরের বিপরীত বা বিরোধী ধারণা প্রকাশ করে, তবে সেগুলি পরস্পরের বিরোধিতা করে। 2. Look for direct causal links. প্রত্যক্ষ কারণের সম্পর্ক খুঁজে দেখো। Check if statement B explains or leads to statement A. If yes, statement B is the reason for statement A. দেখে নাও বক্তব্য বি বক্তব্য এ কে ব্যাখ্যা করে বা তার কারণ কিনা। যদি তা হয় তবে বক্তব্য এ বক্তব্য বির ফলাফল বা পরিণতি। 3. চেক কনসিস্টেন্সি. সঙ্গতি পরীক্ষা করো। ভেরিফাই ইফ স্টেটমেন্ট এ অ্যান্ড মেক্স সেন্স অ্যান্ড ইজ ট্রু অন ইটস ওন, while statement B contradicts or gives incorrect information. দেখে নাও বক্তব্য এ নিজের বক্তব্যে সঠিক ও যুক্তিসঙ্গত কিনা এবং বক্তব্য বি কোনো বিরোধী বা ভুল তথ্য দেয় কিনা। 4. ইভ্যালুয়েট ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্স. স্বাতন্ত্রতা বা নিরপেক্ষতা মূল্যায়ন করো। ইফ দ্য টু স্টেটমেন্টস ডোন্ট ইনফ্লুয়েন্স ইচ আদার, দে আর ইন্ডিপেন্ডেন্ট. যদি দুটি বক্তব্য একে অপরের ওপর প্রভাব না ফেলে, তবে সেগুলি স্বাধীন। Example, question 1. Statement A, the tree wears a scarf which is actually the creeper. Statement B, the tree has crimson flowers hanging from its branches. Analysis. Statement B doesn't directly explain why the tree, quote, wears a scarf, unquote. So A and B are independent to each other. So A and B are independent of each other, and the correct answer is D. ব্যাখ্যা. বক্তব্য বি সরাসরি ব্যাখ্যা করে না কেন গাছটি স্কার্ফ পরেছে, তাই এ এবং বি একে অপরের থেকে স্বাধীন এবং সঠিক উত্তর হল ডি। কোয়েশ্চেন 1 বলে দেওয়া আছে, কোয়েশ্চেন 2 থেকে পড়ছি। স্টেটমেন্ট এ, দ্য ট্রি হ্যাজ এ রাগেড ট্রাঙ্ক উইথ ডিপ স্কার্স। স্টেটমেন্ট বি, দ্য ক্রিপার winds tightly around the casuarina tree like a giant python. Statement B is the reason of statement A. Question 3. Statement A grey baboon sits statue-like on the crest of the tree watching the sunrise. Statement B, the baboon's offspring leap about and play on the lower boughs of the tree. Answer. Statement A and statement B are independent of each other. Question 4. Statement A, the water lilies bloom in direct sunlight away from the tree's shadow. Statement B, the tree is large and beautiful, casting a broad shadow over the water. Answer. Statement B contradicts statement A. Question 5. Statement A, the casuarina tree is dear to the poet. Statement B, the tree is linked to the poet's past and the companions with whom she played. Answer. Statement B is the reason of statement A. Question 130, পৃষ্ঠা 130. Question 6. Statement A, the poet hears a dirge-like murmur similar to the sound of the sea on a beach. Answer. Statement A is true, but আবার পড়ছি। Question 6, Statement A. The poet hears a dirge-like murmur similar to the sound of the sea on a beach. Statement B. The murmur is described as the trees yell, not reaching towards the unknown land. Answer. Statement A is true, but statement B is false. Question 7. Statement A. The poet hears the wail of the tree even in distant lands such as France and Italy. Statement B. The poet associates the wail with memories of their childhood in their native land. Answer. Statement A and B are independent of each other. Question 8. Statement A. The poet's inner vision of the tree rises whenever the music is heard. Statement B. The poet envisions the tree as it was during their happy youth in their native land. Answer. Statement B is the reason of Statement A. 9. Statement A. The poet hopes the casuarina tree will be remembered like the immortal trees of Borodale, symbolizing timeless emotions. Statement B. The poet desires to write a poem in honor of the tree, which was cherished by those now departed. Answer. Statement B is the reason of Statement A. Case-based type. Choose the most appropriate alternative. Question 1. If the poet had omitted the description of, quote, flowers in crimson clusters, unquote, what impact would it have? Answer. The vibrant and lively imagery of the tree would be diminished. Question 2. If the description of the baboon sitting on the tree akin to a statue while watching the sunrise had been left out, the scene would have, answer, lost the sense of stillness and solitude in the scene. Question 3. If the poet had not mentioned the bird and bee gathering on the tree, what would have been the effect? Answer. The garden would have felt less vibrant and lively. 4. If the poet had focused solely on the magnificence of the casuarina tree, what would happen? Answer. The theme of memory and personal connection would lose its depth. Question 5. If the poet had not described the dirge-like murmur of the tree, the poem would have, answered, felt less sorrowful and reflective. Question 6. If the poet had not mentioned the, quote, sweet companions, unquote, in relation to the tree, what would have been its impact on the poem? Answer. The sense of nostalgia and emotional connection with her siblings would have been reduced. Question 7. If the poet had used visual imagery instead of auditory in the line, quote, I have heard that wail far, far away, unquote, it would have, answer, altered the emotional tone of the line significantly. 8. If the poet had not mentioned her, quote, inner vision, unquote, the theme of the stanza would have been, answer, less focused on memory and spiritual connection. পৃষ্ঠা 131. Question 9. Suppose the last line of the poem, quote, may love defend thee from oblivion's curse, unquote, was not there, how would it affect the stanza's appeal? Answer. The theme of immortality would lose its emotional tone. Question 10. Suppose the speaker did not hope for the tree's immortality, then the poem would, answer, express a more transient view of life. Diagram-based type. Complete the following diagrams by choosing the most appropriate alternative. 1. Fill in the missing detail to complete the description of the casuarina tree. 1. Creeper, twisting like a python around the trunk. 2. Tall skirt reaching for the stars. 3. Flowers. Answer. Crimson clusters hanging from the boughs. Sound. Birds, bees, and a sweet night song. Question 2. Fill in the missing detail to complete the scene from, quote, Our Casuarina Tree, unquote. Our Casuarina Tree. Morning view. The speaker opens the window at dawn. Creatures on the tree. Dash. Answer. A grey baboon sits still while its young ones play below. Sounds. Kokilas sing. Cows move to pasture. Reflection. The tree's shadow falls on the tank. Water lilies bloom like snow. Question 3. Speakers bond with the tree. Not because of. Answer. Its magnificence. Because of fond memories of sweet companions. Question 4. Heard the trees well in distant lands. Waves kissed the shores of France and Italy. Memories and nostalgia of the past. Memories and nostalgia of the poet. Heard the trees well in distant lands. Waves kissed the shores of France and Italy. Earth lay in a dreamless swoon. Dash. Answer. The rising music conjures the tree before the poet's eyes. পৃষ্ঠা 132. Question 5. Poet's tribute to the casuarina tree. 1. Poet wishes to honor the tree. 2. The tree is beloved by those who are now in eternal rest. Dash. Answer. The poet wishes the tree to be counted among the deathless trees of Borodale. 4. Poet hopes love will protect the tree from oblivion. Mind map our casuarina tree, personal memories and loss. 1. Childhood memories. The tree represents the joy and innocence of the poet's childhood and playful times with her siblings. 2. Connection to loved ones. It symbolizes the deep bond with her late siblings, holding the love and moments shared under its shade. 3. Sense of loss. The tree brings bitter-sweet memories, mixing the pain of separation with the comfort of remembrance. 4. Immortalizing memories. Through her poetry, the poet preserves the memories of the tree, keeping her past alive and honoring her loved ones. 5. Passage of time. The tree stands as a constant reminder of how time changes, contrasting its permanence with the fleeting nature of life. 6. Broader human experience. The tree reflects how people connect with objects or places tied to memories, showing how nature holds emotional significance.